Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Laura Praill. I am a graduate student from Oxford Brookes University, where I studied my Masters in Primate Conservation. I'm here today to talk about my Master's dissertation about primate roadkill and the Global Primate Roadkill Database. My supervisor is Dr. Magdalena Svensson from the School of Social Sciences. And just as a warning, there are some images in this presentation that some viewers may find upsetting, and I will warn everyone before they come up. Primates are a large and diverse group of mammals. There are currently 515 primate species listed by the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species. However, 2 of those are listed as extinct. Nearly 85% have a declining population trend, and over 65% are listed in at-risk categories. So this is critically endangered, endangered and vulnerable. 93 species are threatened by roads and railroads. This is about 18% of primate species, and examples of these are the mandrill, the tufted capuchin, and the Zanzibar red colobus. I will speak a bit more about the Zanzibar red colobus later on in this presentation. Fernando has already discussed in detail the issues that primates face because of linear infrastructures globally. The construction and operation of linear infrastructures can cause a variety of issues. However, my data focuses on one of the primary ecological effects of roads, and that's vehicular mortality. The main aim of my master's dissertation was to compile a database of fatal primate vehicular incidents across the globe. The project was a huge success, and the Global Primate Roadkill Database is the largest database of its kind to my knowledge. Data was collected from published papers, unpublished databases, anecdotal reports, news reports, and social media posts. I used social media to spread awareness of the project, which also brought in a lot of offers of unpublished datasets and anecdotal reports. The data collected revealed over 2,000 incidents of primate roadkill in 27 out of the 88 primate range countries. It covers 78 species of primate, and the 3 countries with the most reported incidents were Brazil, Kenya, and South Africa. Here is a complete global map with all the primate reports logged on it. The absence of data within some primate range countries does not indicate that primate roadkill was not present, simply that there was no records that were obtained from there. Since the completion of my dissertation, the Global Primate Roadkill Database has continued to be updated and includes some new species and countries now as well. The majority of the roadkill incidents gathered were from published data sources. However, a large amount of reports were also gathered from unpublished and anecdotal sources. These datasets provided valuable information to the study. Nevertheless, they are not publicly available online, and the opportunity to receive them was only made possible due to the distribution of the online survey and awareness of my data collection on social media. There are considerable difficulties involved in obtaining unpublished data. Therefore, it's highly likely that more primate roadkill has been collected by researchers and organisations globally that have not been documented in this study. Here are some examples of some excellent long-term environmental monitoring projects and citizen science projects that gather primate roadkill database. Citizen science is the practice of public participation and collaboration in scientific research to increase scientific knowledge. So CONSA is a highway administration company which manages the BR-040 in Brazil, and it collects roadkill data along the 180-kilometre road. Colobus Conservation have been collecting roadkill data since 2000 in Kenya. The EWT Roadwatch is an app that allows South African citizens to collect and report roadkill data. And Tyron was established in 2011 as a Facebook group and now has over 20,000 members. It operates in Taiwan, and it's a really great way for citizens to report roadkill data. These organisations also represent the 3 countries that have the most reported incidents, which is Brazil, Kenya and South Africa. So it shows that these kinds of projects are valuable tools for conservation. And just a pre-warning, there are some potentially upsetting images on the next slide. The data in the Global Primate Roadkill Database indicates that in locations where ongoing environmental monitoring projects are present, there are more reports of primate roadkill. Long-term projects are an excellent conservation tool which will inform mitigation actions to protect primates in the future. And the number of peer-reviewed road ecology papers has been increasing in recent years. This is likely thanks to all of the long-term data collection going on. The applications that have been developed by organisations for citizens to use often provide the option for photo attachments and georeferencing, making each data point really valuable and detailed. Even just posts made to Facebook can be really useful, such as this one on the Taiwan website. and it's really accessible to many people, and it's also really good at identifying hotspots and at-risk species. Studies have shown that reports from citizens tended to be accurate in comparison to those of trained road patrols. Citizen science projects may show some bias in the data, as members of the general public may choose not to collect data if the traffic seems too dangerous, or it's raining, or the carcass is really decomposed, but it's still a really valuable tool for monitoring wildlife. Collecting roadkill data can be really time consuming, and therefore having citizen scientists involved to aid in data collection takes away some of the data bias that is inevitably associated with the time, cost and space constraints faced by researchers. Looking at the data in the Global Primate Roadkill Database, the smallest species recorded was the brown mouse lemur and the largest was the chimpanzee. This picture is actually of a golden brown mouse lemur, which is listed as vulnerable, and they are known to cross roads in fragmented habitats. And this is an adult male chimpanzee, which was killed by a speeding car in Uganda in 2017. The species that appeared most in the data I collected were the Zanzibar Sykes monkey, the white-headed marmoset, and the vervet monkey. They are all classified as least concern, however they all have decreasing populations and they are threatened by habitat destruction and fragmentation. Of the top 6 genera with the most incidence of roadkill within the Global Primate Roadkill Database, 5 were sarcopithines. Sarcopithines may be overrepresented in the data as a species-rich and broadly distributed group of primates. They're often very tolerant of human disturbance and adapt well to human-modified environments due to their behavioural flexibility, with nearly 80% of sarcopithine species being able to live in disturbed habitat. I ran a general linear mixed model on the data, and the results, whilst not significant, do suggest that primates that are present in artificial habitats are at an increased risk of primate roadkill, as there was a tendency towards significance in the results of that test. The benefits of collecting roadkill data means that evidence is available to lobby for mitigation measures to be put in place for preventing it from happening again. The Langer project Penang had recorded several incidents of roadkill of both dusky langurs and Sunderslow loris along a particular stretch of road. So in response, they began a project to build a fire hose canopy bridge which connected the fragmented habitat. It's also fitted with a camera trap, so its use can be monitored, and it's used by both primates and other arboreal species. By increasing canopy connectivity and providing the option for arboreal primates to cross the road arboreally rather than going down and crossing it terrestrially on the road, it reduced the risk of primate mortality when travelling in habitats that are fragmented by roads. Here's another example of a successful project. The Zanzibar Red Colobus project recorded roadkill data on one stretch of road for 4 years. In that time, 83% of mammalian deaths due to roadkill were of primates. The Zanzibar Red Colobus seems unfazed by roads and prefers to cross terrestrially, so speed bumps were installed to slow cars down. The loss of a single individual due to a vehicular collision puts added pressure on an already threatened population, which is a conservation concern, especially for the endangered Zanzibar Red Colobus. So mortality rates fell for the species after the installation of the speed bumps and warning signs, and there are calls for more to be installed. To better understand the impact that vehicular collisions pose to primates, organisations and individuals must continue to make contributions to expand the Global Primate Roadkill Database, which will be made available for further research into this understudied threat. Conservationists must also engage in promoting citizen science projects, which involve public participation to create a more complete data. Long-term environmental monitoring projects are an excellent conservation tool which will inform mitigation actions to protect primate species in the future. And habitat connectivity structures, sustainable road planning, and environmental education could all be successful conservation steps to ensure the survival of primate species which occupy habitats that are fragmented by roads. What is next? So first up, I need to graduate. I have my online graduation next week, which I'm really looking forward to. And what is next for the Global Primate Roadkill Database? You can read a little bit more about it and my dissertation in the spring 2021 edition of Canopy. I'm working with Dr. Magdalena Svensson to create a publication to introduce the database to the world. We want to make the data accessible to everyone. It could be a really important conservation tool. We will continue to accept contributions to the database so it can be hopefully expanded further in the future. Thank you so much for listening to my talk. You can contact me any of these ways, and if you have any questions, please do just let me know. Thank you.